Hey guys, so today's video is going to be a list, I guess, of all of my favorite high-end concealers. So I'm going to go from my least favorite to my most favorite. It doesn't mean that my least favorite that I don't like at all. It's just that I'm just going in order from the ones that I like to the ones that I like the most, if that makes any sense. So the first concealer I'm going to talk about is the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. This concealer is pretty pricey. I have this in the shade Medium 2 Ginger, and this costs $30. That's pretty pricey for a concealer, and it only comes with 0.22 ounces, 6 milliliters, but I feel like that's pretty standard for concealers. So this concealer claims to be parabens-free, sulfates-free, and alcohol-free. There's a lot of other information that you can find on the Sephora website. Cons. This concealer is really thick and it kind of creases on me. Actually, I know some people say it does not crease on them, but it does crease on me. Even if I set it with the powder, it still creases. I still find it in the wrinkles of my eyes. It's also pretty drying. I find that it cracks a little if I wear it for too long. That being said, it is really full coverage and it lasts all day. I mean, yeah, it creases a little, but this lasts an entire day. The next concealer I'm going to talk about is the Too Faced Born This Way Naturally Radiant Concealer, and I have this in the shade Medium. This costs $28, and this comes with 0.23 fluid ounces or 7 milliliters. This concealer claims to come with coconut water, and it's supposed to smooth wrinkles and blur fine lines, all while covering blemishes and your dark circles. This concealer also creases on me, but I don't mind it because it's really hydrating. I feel like it's really refreshing under my eyes, and it's not thick, but I don't think it's full coverage. I think it's like a light to medium coverage. I wear this concealer when I don't want to wear too much makeup, but I still want to cover some of my dark circles. It doesn't cover everything, but it covers enough. The next concealer I'm talking about, I have two of them, and it's a Tarte Maracuja Creaseless Concealer, and I have this in the shades Light, Medium Sand, and Medium. So these retail for $26, and they come with 0.28 ounces or 8 grams. So on the back, it just has these 3 bullet points. I don't know if you can see that. But it says full coverage, creaseless, and waterproof. It's not that creaseless. I feel like it creases just a tiny bit, but if you set it with a lot of powder, it will not crease. A little goes a very long way with these concealers. This is definitely full coverage and it lasts for hours. My only problem with them is that they're just a little bit greasy and sticky, but I feel like that's what makes it last so long, and if you set it with powder, it's not greasy or sticky. I love these concealers. I would definitely repurchase. Oh, by the way, I mean, I like the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer, but I don't know if I would repurchase it too often, and I feel like the same goes with this concealer. So next we have the Urban Decay Naked Skin Concealer. So I have these in medium light neutral and in medium neutral. The color selection for this concealer sucks. But anyway, these cost $28 and it comes with the least amount of product, 0.16 fluid ounces or 5 milliliters. There's like no product in these. So it claims to be weightless with complete coverage, and I don't think it's that full coverage. I think it's a light to medium. It can definitely be a nice medium if you build it up, but it's very lightweight and it's very smooth and it's so hydrating and it's also refreshing. I like this better than the Too Faced Born This Way concealer, so I would definitely repurchase these over the Too Faced Born This Way. Don't get me wrong, I like both of them, but I just like this one better. Next we have the Makeup Forever Full Cover Concealer. This concealer is so expensive. This is $34. This is in the shade number 7. You know, Makeup Forever doesn't really have shade names, it has shade numbers. So yeah, this is in the shade number 7. Well, like I said, it's pricey, but it comes with a lot of product. It's half an ounce, 15 milliliters, so I don't mind paying $34 for this, especially because it is so good. So it claims to be long lasting, oil free, and to have a matte finish and to be waterproof. I agree with all of those 100%. It is definitely 100% full coverage. It's really matte. It doesn't crease at all, and it's not greasy. The problems I have, this oxidizes. It's a little drying, and it sets super quick. You have to work so fast with this, and I mean, okay, so I have the shade number 7, but originally I got this when I was really tan, so this probably doesn't really fit me now. I work in a mall and I was on break, so I went to Sephora during my break and I really wanted to purchase this concealer. The person who works in Sephora was trying to help me with my shade, and he said that number 10 fit me best. So I put the color on my hand and it seemed to match. Like, I mean, it was a bit lighter than my skin, but I usually go for a lighter concealer under my eyes anyway. So I told him that I would be back after my shift and I would buy it then. By the time I was at my job, it was completely darker, like way darker than my skin. It was orange. It was so orange. Like, it was awful. So when I went back to Sephora after my shift, I tried to pick number 9. Still too dark. I tried number 8. It was getting there, but it was still too dark. Number 7, it's still a little bit dark. I actually use this under the concealer that I use to lighten my under eyes, you know, under my highlighting concealer, because I use this to cover my dark circles. This is an amazing concealer. I love it. Yeah, there are some cons to it, but I love this concealer. I would not mind repurchasing this, even though it is so pricey, but it covers everything. Even though I do have to use a concealer on top, I don't mind that. I love to pair this with the Naked Skin concealers whenever I want to have a full coverage highlighted under eye. So that is why this is number 2 on my list. Last but not least, we have, and this is probably not going to be a surprise because everyone loves this concealer, the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. In my opinion, this is the best concealer out of all of them. Like, if you were to buy one, buy this. This concealer costs $25, so it's the least expensive out of all of the ones that I mentioned, and it comes with 10 milliliters, 0.3381 fluid ounces. So it's not as much as the Makeup Forever one, but it still comes with a lot of product. I mean, look at this. This is huge. I mean, compared to the Naked Skin, look at this. This is a lot of product. I have the shades Light Sand and Tan Sand, and I'll get to that in a second, but this is vegan, it's creamy, and it's for contouring and concealing. My issue with this is the color selection is weird. This is way too light for me, and this is way too dark for me. Like, why don't they have a sand shade? A sand shade would be perfect for me, but they don't. They just have Light Sand and Tan Sand, so I mix these two. And I mean, I'm okay with it, but I just wish they had a sand shade. This is the perfect concealer. This is like a dream concealer. It's full coverage, it's not cakey, it's not greasy, but it's hydrating. It's really refreshing, hydrating, moisturizing, but it's not greasy, it's not oily. And it doesn't crease, it doesn't set too quickly. And I just have nothing negative besides the color selection. Like I said, I have nothing negative to say about the product itself. Okay guys, that concludes this video. Those were my top 6, I think, high-end concealers. I hope you learned something, and I hope next time you're at Sephora and you're debating between a concealer, you know which one to get. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!